Hey everyone, and welcome to my book club. This is a Southern thing. I hope that you will like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in the book that we're going to be going over today, The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Harris, I would love for you to stay tuned and make sure that you get your popcorn, you sit back and relax, and I'm going to tell you a great story.
Ever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worry.
So the book is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Harris. It was published in 2021, so this is one of the interesting reads that was described to me to go ahead and give it a try. It was described to me as witty. It was very described to me as electrifying, a very good plot twist, and something that was very interesting. When reading the book, I will not lie to you, I did not give it the best credit. I didn't give it a high score on my Goodreads platform because it was such a long, hard read. And not difficult as far as we don't understand of what's happening, but difficult as far as it took a while before the action started. So let me give you a more deeper example. The book is a 352 page book. Let me show you. It's not that big. It's not that thick. And like I said, easy read. It's not hard at all. However, majority of the plot didn't happen until about 30 pages toward the end of the book. If I could physically fight a book, I would fight that book. This book could be compared to Get Out. Stepford Wives is something that you definitely have seen and heard before. The author likes to compare the book to The Devil Wears Prada, and it is because you definitely get a glimpse inside of an all or predominantly white corporate America, and we don't really have too many African American, black, brown people inside of these areas. So I can definitely see where Nella Rogers, who was the main character of this book, felt like she was alone. But when we get introduced to a character by the name of Hazel, Hazel brings a lot of different events, freaky events, outrageous events that happen, and it really brings out the character of Nella. And it really shows it in the series. We'll be talking about the book, and we'll also be talking about the series. So you here have Nella Rogers, who is in Wagner Books, and Richard Wagner is the owner of this company since in the 1980s. And so when he made this, it was, to make his dad proud. Was he really interested in it? We really didn't know in the book, and we really didn't get an understanding of it until we watched the series. The book kind of left us with a lot of unanswered questions, things that we were looking for, but the series really brought it out. Before I get started, I wanted to let you know that this is for entertainment purposes only, for those who are interested, and it also is opinion based as well. I am not a book publisher. I do not make that a living, but I enjoy reading books and I love talking about them. And so my community that I've started as a Southern thing is going to be a community that is going to bring other book readers together so that they can be able to discuss these things. And at the end of all of my videos, I have questions, and my questions today, we'll go over them later on. But let's get into the series. So the series basically talked about a dark comedy, a thriller, a mystery, suspense, and it definitely was that. We definitely got a better depiction of what the book was supposed to give us in the Hulu series, this original Hulu series. This Hulu series was produced in 2023, and it really brought a lot of light to the series book, because I ain't gonna lie, the book was a little dry, but it was so much better in the series. So much better. And then we got a chance to see things that we hadn't seen in the book. Most books are like that. You know, you get a better understanding of series once you see it in real time. But however, the book was okay. And we got to see some things that we didn't see in the series, and then vice versa. We saw some things in the series that we didn't see in the book. Some things that was in the book that we didn't see was some of the characters. One character in particular was Juanita. Juanita was not in that series. Juanita was a lady who liked to braid hair. She was an inspiring cosmetologist, and she was the one who kind of introduced the grease. She's the one who introduced the grease. A summary of what it is Nella Rogers was an editing assistant in Wagner Books. And as the assistant, the Wagner Books was all white. And so being in a New York publishing company, we finally get another black co-host, which was Hazel. And Hazel just brought a lot of motion. She brought a lot of events that happened within the series, and it really gave us the gasping, things that we were looking for that we didn't get into the book. Like I said, it's a dark comedy series, thriller, suspense. And we definitely got all of those things wrapped up in one. Spooky moments, fearing moments, jerking moments, all of those things. We got a good depiction of the book in the series. One of the things that wasn't also in the book that we were happy to see was the relationship between Vera and Macy. We knew that they were both assistants, but we didn't know the extent of the beef that they had between each other, because they were both trying to become editors and make it to the top and be the best of best. And so we got a little bit of the backlash and a little bit of the troubles that happened between those two. Another great thing that we were interested in seeing, that I thought, was when they went to the party and they were pretending to be editors to get some more traction going for Wagner Books, a fresh look, or to actually become an editor. And when they got into the bathroom and they were actually trying to prepare for it, and we saw her scratching of her head, and then we saw Hazel started to bleed because she was scratching so much. See, those things were things that weren't in the book, but they were very good because they really kept us, on edge as we got closer to the revealing of what that grease was for. The fighting between Malika and Nella was something that was not in the book. How they were fighting on the trust that Nella was getting from Hazel, and Malika probably being a little territorial of her friend. And so she was looking out for her and wasn't trusting what Hazel was showing her. And so that was something that was really interesting to see, because we never had heard of Nella and Malika actually fighting in the book. The threats from Hazel, her being very territorial, very sassy, was something that really brought life to the book and to the series, because we didn't get that. We did not get that. And so to see Hazel walk up to Malika and say, I got her best interests at heart. I really am her friend. I always want success for my friends. And just seeing that side of her was very good to see. And then bringing Hazel onto the project, when Nella was able to get the job from Diana, and how she brought Hazel on, and how they actually looked out for each other, Nella and Hazel, throughout the whole series. And it was nice when she wanted to add her on to the project when she became a real editor. She looked out for Hazel and brought her company on and everything. Like I said, we get a lot of different comparisons that we didn't see. And that was really good. And definitely seeing Connor, who was very aggressive in the series versus the book. We only got the lash out that Nella had given us when she talked to him about what his book was about with the star Trisha. But we got it really early in the series, and I really could tell you the series 1 episode basically could have summed up the whole entire thing. And it had to, because as I was telling my friend when we was watching it, I was telling her, like, the book was so drawn out, they had to do something to get you enticed for the series. And they definitely gave it with the series, because you could have wrapped up the whole entire book in that 1 episode. All the main parts for me. But to see the book get leaked early, and the backlash that came with how racist that book that Colin Franklin had wrote. Oh my God. it was great. Also, with the firing of Nella, that was not in the book. We thought that Nella was going to get fired, but the fact that in the series we actually saw Vera was about to fire, and then it turns around, Vera is the one that gets fired from Richard. Richard, you did your thing with that one, because we didn't really like Vera at one point, and she definitely showed herself. I love Bellamy Young, who played in Scandal, as she's a great character. She knows how to, she always put her hands up in the air every time she's excited or she talking about something, she try to cheer somebody, she always puts her hands up in the air. If you ever notice how she be talking. But one part that, because like I said, it's a dark comedy, and so the description is dark comedy, but some of the parts didn't need to be in there. But the funny part that I did like with Bellamy Young and with Malika was the fact when Malika was trying to get the tea on Richard, and Malika goes to Vera's house, and Vera says, "Oh, I got dirt. That's how I knew this was a different culture. It was a different culture." And upbringing and raising. Vera says, "He spends a lot of money on manicures, or his hair, I think, is fake." And I'm sitting there looking at this screen like, lady, that's not no tea. We need real tea. We is in a life or death situation, and you playing with us, telling us that a manicure and about hair being fake. Can you give us something a little bit stronger and a little bit more better than what we asking for? But all in all, I enjoyed the series more than I enjoyed the book. I won't have to read the book again. I'm glad you became an instant New York seller. Best luck to you, sis, in your future endeavors. And your first book was okay. That's the best way I could put it. But we got questions. So questions. In the book, we didn't, like I said, get that attitude or that sass when it came to Nella, but we definitely got it when we got in the series. But it makes us think of what really is black. When you consider a black woman, do you expect all black people that you see have that aggressive, have that tone, want to fight, want to say everything that they feel? Do you really think that's how every black person is? So in the comments, or if you would like to join us over there at Telegram, it will be interesting to talk about this topic of what is black. And also, I don't know how this book made its instant New York bestseller. So my question to you guys is, what made it a New York bestseller? Because when we're talking about hair grease that brainwashes us to make us acceptable to work in corporate America, somebody like it. But the book's not for everybody. I will say that. And lastly, what's next? So we didn't get a chance to get a part 2 of the book. We know for definitely sure there will not be a part 2 for the book. But what as far as season 2 for the original Hulu series? Will we be able to get one? So far, I was researching and I didn't get a chance to see Hulu picking up for a season 2. I would have liked to see, you know, what the plot plan between Kendra and Nella and Colin and what all would have happened afterwards to blow up the spot for Wagner Books. But we just might have to deal with what we got, and that's about the best we're gonna get. But I enjoyed the series. Like I said, I hope that if you get a chance to see it and you want to be a part of the discussion, you can follow us on Telegram and then also on our Instagram. And also, don't forget the comments. You definitely have the comments, and I answer to all if I can. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. We'll be doing lots of other books. It's a Southern Things book club. It's something that we're going to continue to keep doing. See you on the next book review.
Stack back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines, one too many times. Wicked games we play, make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude, knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me.